And welcome to Boost Boerne Business here on Boerne Radio, 103.9 FM. Barron Wiley broadcasting from the Richter studio. And one of the joys, anytime we have someone from out of town, we want to show off the Texas Hill Country, the first stop is always going to have to be Singing Water Vineyards in Comfort, Texas. And I welcome back to the studios, Andy, Missy. Thank you so much for being a great partner with Boerne Radio. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Doing very well. Thank you.
We're having a, California summer.
Already?
And people are outside, so it's great, right?
Well, you have such a beautiful place. It's such a wonderful drive. Depends on, I guess, which way you get there. There's two ways to get there.
Three.
Oh, by helicopter?
3 ways. It could be one. Yes. No, you have basically Skyline, right? Then you got Herman Sons, and then you got Mill Dam Road that come off Panchkratz. So
of course.
Those are locals. They know how to get to us.
And that's what you say. This is where the locals go.
That's right. We try to be, I don't know, Missy, if you kind of see this often, is that, you got Fredericksburg, which, my gosh, 100 plus wineries or so, kind of more flat areas, but busy with the tourism, which they should be. And we're happy for that. But for us, we're in the real hill country out in the middle of nowhere, and It's got to be a destination and know that you're going out there on purpose. And
what's great is that when I go out there, it's like I see people that I know, and it's like a big, hang, right?
Yes.
Everyone's a regular.
Yes. I mean, we primarily draw, it's kind of interesting. It's become like the area for Cordillera, right? And the neighbors come out together, or Fair Oaks Ranch, if they're living there, it's a group of neighbors. And so it is kind of neat where it's more families that are connected somehow, either to soccer, or if, they're just on the street together and say, hey, let's go out and hang out and sit on a table underneath the oak trees and next to a creek.
Excellent. And it's also people who, like you said, have family visiting, or they want to show off Texas and they want it to be sort of the quintessential Texas, right? This is a place that people can go, they can take their families, relax, enjoy. The kids are welcome. Well-behaved kids are welcome.
Right.
Well-behaved dogs are welcome. But we just enjoy family. And so it's a big part of who we are. And we hope that you can come and enjoy your family time as well.
Take a mini vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Staycation is what we call it here,
that's right.
But what we enjoy, again, from Boerne, you take that first exit and you kind of zigzag up and down these hills, which is amazing. But if you go through the Comfort Way, again, another adventure, going over the river, and animals that you see, wild or domestic, whatever that looks like. But you have your own little mini zoo out there still?
Oh, yes. And it adds more and more by the month or week. We got a lot of good friends and neighbors, and sometimes they'll say, hey, I got this donkey.
Got an extra goat or an extra donkey.
Can I drop it off at your little, just open up the gate and let it in.
Well, you don't have to cut the grass ever. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, we actually just added last year, Missy and I were playing around. I love animals, and I always wanted Longhorns. And,
oh, wow.
The big question is, are they dangerous around kids? Because we have a lot of kids. And so we found a couple that bred miniature Longhorns, and so Cobb and Franck are out there, and they're almost 2 years old now.
Yeah.
And the horns are growing.
We're learning so much. We're not ranchers by trade. We're just really dabbling and enjoying it.
We just want our ag exemption, right?
We just are having fun. And we think they're super cute, but we're here to now tell you that Longhorns are not the brightest bulbs.
Oh, dumb as an ox, I think, is the other expression.
I did not realize where that expression came from and how accurate that really was. So,
well,
that's right.
One thing you'll also notice when you pull in, congratulations, Singing Water Vineyard, recognized by the Boerne Chamber and the Comfort Chamber.
Yes.
Business of the year last year.
At the same year.
That's right.
I was at the Boerne one, and when they announced you, I was like, and I didn't see you. And so I texted you and I said, hey, you just won. Well, then what did you do? How'd that happen?
Well, we were hosting an event at the same time. And, I guess we had forgot that we were up. Not a bad thing for Kim and that team.
But it was also the storm. So we had two things going on. We were trying to prepare the ranch for the storm and make it back to Boerne. And then on that day, they had moved forward the event because of the storm. So it was a perfect storm of our not communicating well.
But if you look at all the pictures, we're there.
We made it.
You made it.
Every single one of them, right? And we're smiling. And
just in the nick of time.
But no, we were incredibly grateful because to us, that's more special than some of these wine awards that you win out in California or some of these rodeos that you go to, because this is your local businesses coming together and hanging out and saying, hey, you guys were good this year. And hats off to our staff, because that's who makes it. And then ultimately it's all the customers and members that come out and support us. So, we enjoyed that. And, the big thing when you look at both these awards, and it's just a normal thing because what's coming up is July 4th. And during the floods, we were stuck out there and we had all this food left over because we were doing a major fireworks event. And we turned it over with our buddies Cisco and a few others, and we invited members out, and we cooked dinner and lunch for all the first responders. And so folks came together and we did concerts. We started trying to do as best we can during those couple of months. And, and so, good wine, good business running. But the reality is, I think that both of the awards, they called out the staff and the membership and the volunteers and the raising of funds to help. So, and we're more proud of that than anything.
Well, we're talking with Missy and Andy with Singing Water Vineyards. And again, congratulations to that. And you keep adding things to your plate there. You're starting something this summer on Thursdays and Fridays.
We are. We have been working on upgrading our kitchen capabilities.
Yes.
And we have brought on not one, but 2 culinary-trained chefs into our culinary experience. So we're so excited because it means we can do so many more things, from wine tastings and paired tastings all the way to steaks and seafood and all those amazing things that we just love to eat. So one thing about Andy and I is we will be found eating out a lot. We just enjoy food. Really good food. So by expanding this kitchen and having more capability, we are so excited. And one of the things that we're starting with is steak night. So on Thursdays and Friday nights, you have an option. You can get an 8-ounce filet or a salmon filet if you just want an individual plate,
right,
which comes with all the sides and all of the salad, the bread, the dessert. Everything is all included in that package. And then we also have an option for bringing your friends out for a family of 4 or friend group of 4 with a large tomahawk that's sliced in the middle of your plate. So,
we love this idea of sharing. And I think that when you get around with a group of friends and this idea that you can cut up a nice sliced tomahawk, which is huge. And I'll say too, Missy and I, we never got into this business about wanting to own a restaurant. Who wants to do that type deal? And I think that one of the interesting things is that when you add food to wine, it changes everything. And we had to learn that as wine novices. And the taste, the quality, the texture, and just what it does to food. I mean, it was 5,000 years people have known this.
Right.
We're like, oh, this is a good thing. And so we've always done food out there, flatbreads, pizzas, and we got a giant oven. And we've done steak nights before. But what I like is that we've got together with a core group of both Debbie, who used to run Flamingo Street. She's a culinary chef, went to CIA herself. And she said, hey, let's team up. And then we had this young man, Mason Grimes, who's been working at the vineyard and winery as a kid in the kitchen, going to college and all this other stuff. And then he decided that, hey, I love cooking, and went down to CIA San Antonio, graduated. And so he's, we all call him chef. We have to tell the team you need to call him chef because they earned it. And they know how to make some amazing things. So we're really excited about just doubling down on something that, maybe we got the foundation right about 3 or 4 years ago and keep doing it. And so steak night is big. I will tell you this, though, is that everybody does steak night. You're seeing the ads everywhere else that pop in there. Our goal is kind of like to make the steak, at least, because you're doing high quality meats. We have different butcher shops that we're going to use, and we've got a couple of these ranches that will provide it in Texas. And what's kind of neat about this is let the steak basically sell itself, whatever it costs, and then let the wine bottle basically make the difference.
Yes.
And so, it's a little different from a standard restaurant that's got to look for margins for anything. And so we're just like, fill the plate, and let's have some fun and bring some friends. That's
amazing. Again, and I love how you're investing in your own employees. That turns into a career, a life calling,
I think anything, Missy, you would probably say this, is that I didn't understand when we got into this, there's a lot of kids that work, and I say kids,
right?
You gotta be 16, and then you gotta wait till you're 18 to touch wine, that type of stuff. I didn't realize that we would become this training ground, and how either our own family, but our kids that had their friends at Boerne Champion that would work, go through the program. And now we're on our 3rd generation of kids coming through, because a wine club member says, hey, do you got some space for my kid? I see what you guys do out here. They're 16. Send them over.
Wow.
Well, it was also important to us with our own kids who are now college age, right? But we still have one in middle school. But anybody who's been out to Singing Water has seen our kids working it, right? And it is a family business, and our kids are very much involved in it. But part of that was just watching them blossom and being able to be part of that opportunity to teach them how to be good workers, how to be a good employee, even down to the little things, right, that you don't think about, how to set up a checking account, how to set up a ACH, right? So that you can get direct deposit. What does that mean? Right. How do you clock in? How do you clock out? What is it about clocking in and out, and how does that, it's your character.
Right.
It's all about character, right? And integrity, because we're giving you an opportunity to earn money, but we're expecting that you're going to do that.
Or the big one,
with integrity.
How to make eye contact and say yes sir, yes ma'am. We
Respecting
work a lot
authority,
of that.
respecting your management
Great
staff.
values.
There's so much that goes into learning how to be a good employee, and a lot of that goes into their management. And once you send your 16-year-old off for their first job, you don't know who their manager is or what kind of quality person is speaking into their lives, right? We want to be the first opportunity to speak into their lives on what it looks like to be a professional.
That'll come back to you guys later. This generation is going to come back and say, if it wasn't for you, I didn't learn that. I had a huge head start in my life because of Singing Water.
You know where it comes back, which is interesting, is proposals. Every weekend there's a proposal, and it's some kid that grew up there. Their parents were taking them out, and it's usually the guys because they can't figure it all out what to do. Like, take my fiance or my soon-to-be fiance to the winery.
Andy and Missy will know what to do.
And it's the kids who work there in some cases too at one point. So,
and then you'll get to meet their next generation.
Making me feel really old now, Barron.
No, it's so wonderful.
We talk about marketing sometimes, taglines, and every business does this, and it's kind of interesting how you always want to change it and stuff. And we were thinking that the winery's been there since 1997, so almost 30 years. And we just did some bathroom work, and we thought about, hey, we should put a statement here underneath a bunch of pictures that is something like pouring into families and marriages for over 30 years, right? Or something like that. Just because I do think, when you're kind of looking at this place, it is special. We treat it special. And, a lot of folks that come out there, it's their place they want to hang.
Well, we're in God's country. We know that. It's a little sweeter there.
Yes.
By Singing Water there.
Yes.
The Spirit's also flowing there, if I must say.
That's right.
Me.
Yep.
Of course, what brought us to the dance is your amazing wines. Let's talk about that just for a second. Your winemaker got to speak at our last Boost Burning Business event out there. Thank you very much. Yeah. And you're in capable hands, but just brag on the wines. You have won an award or two, yes?
Well, we have. And so the two things you need to look at, right, is that you're only as good as your winemaker. So Missy and I, we know how to drink the wine.
You got that down.
Maybe we've gotten a little bit better, but it really does start with your winemaking team. And so Pat Johnson, who's our master winemaker, he started, the thing about Pat's just amazing because, he was doing this as a young guy, went to USC, grew up in Texas, but then went to UC Davis, which is the wine school, and then came back and was part of that first 1980s group of winemakers out in West Texas, planting grapes and experimenting what ended up becoming the Texas wine industry. And so he was past president of TWIGA, which is our wine association. And Pat's been doing this for a while and knows what he knows, and he knows what a grape will do. And his whole thing that he likes to say is his intent, or I just need to go where the grape tells me to go. Wow. And I just adjust a few things here and there. And we use really good American oak barrels from Upper Missouri, Higbee area, and that just puts everything together. So
it's a proud American-made
a little bit.
But we have the artist and Pat, and then his assistant that is our cellar master. Wineries have cool names, by the way, which is really cool. Cellar master is Jordan Flanagan. And Jordan's pretty amazing because she's a chemist by nature, been to Italy, working in vines. And so when you bring these people together and you call something else is called a cellar rat,
right?
Which is the kids or the guys and the gals that roll barrels and do all the cleaning.
We
and
have radio
else.
rats where we come from.
That's right.
That's right. Special breed.
Yeah. But you put that together, right, in an environment like Singing Water. And so one of the big things that we have focused on is being really bold with our reds. If you were to walk around Texas back in the late 90s, early 2000s, you would have something like where folks would say it's very sweet. And that kind of just mirrors the palate of the time of Texans that didn't drink, and you got to start off with something sweet. And some of the wineries transformed into more bold, because at the end of the day, Missy, I always kind of feel this way, is that you end in your journey around a bold Cabernet Sauvignon. That at some point you're gonna want that, right? So it could be, if you're doing Scotch, right, you'll end up at a 25 and never want to go back from whatever vintage that's out there. So we focus heavily in the bold reds, and then the whites are exquisite to the point to where we're really focused on making sure that dry, white, crisp, cold white wine is going to taste exquisite, whatever the varietal it's going to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Singing Water Vineyards. SingingWater.com is where you can not only learn more about, again, the culture of the place. There's always live music happening on the weekends. Don't forget steak nights on Thursdays and Fridays. And if you'd like to propose, it might be a good idea maybe to call ahead, or maybe if I wanted to book my own party, call ahead too, right, Missy?
Absolutely. Let us know if you want to come out. We serve all kinds of size groups from, 10 or less people all the way up to over 300 we did not too long ago. So tell us what you want. Dream big. We can do it. I love it. Andy, Missy, thank you so much again for being great partners with Boerne Radio. We love hearing you guys just sound so wonderful, but you again provide a great service. Can you take a second, Andy, and invite our listeners to come see you this weekend? Yeah, absolutely. Hey, come on out. It's going to be live music like always on Saturday and Sunday. Hang out underneath the trees and enjoy this beautiful, weird summer cool weather that we've got. Yeah. Yeah, we have a beautiful time every weekend. It's a party every time. It really doesn't matter who's on the stage. We just have a great time getting to see people, community, chatting, connecting. You'll love it. Making memories and, again, celebrating life here in the Texas Hill Country. It's just so special. That's right. Singing Water Vineyards is the place, the website, singingwater.com. And again, I say, Andy, Missy, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Barron. And thank you for listening to Boerne Radio, 103.9 FM. Yeah.